If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.
All right, y'all. We are back. It's Mike and Alex with the Good Brother Show. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Good. We premiered our newest show last week.
Murder, Mysteries, and More. Pretty fun stuff.
With Nicole. We didn't kill each other. I think we're actually going to team up and go against you soon, so we'll see how that works out.
Swerve, son.
Like, who would have saw that coming?
It's a swerve.
Yeah.
Alex, it was an awesome.
Oh, speaking of that, I was just listening to him on the Austin podcast. That's actually really funny.
Before we start the show, I cannot stand Vince Russo. Just his cadences. Steve.
It's almost like he's doing an impression of himself.
It's
really, you're like, no one talks like that for real. Like, come on.
So, anyway, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of The Good Brothers. Alex, it was a busy weekend. You were in another competition, not one of the big ones that we keep hearing about.
Yeah, nice little one. Busy. Killed it. All the teams killed it. Usual.
They good?
Yeah, they did amazing.
Awesome. That's good to hear. But we have some stuff in pop culture we got to get to.
A lot of little tidbits. A lot of little things kind of added up, actually.
A little bit of stuff in the WWE universe. We got to talk some NFL free agency. I want to get your thoughts on some Netflix stuff. And, of course,
some early reviews of movies coming out.
South by Southwest. Yeah. And I also want to get your thoughts as a student athlete when you were in college about March Madness and just some of the craziness that is and stuff that's flowing in my head that we might talk about on Saturday Sports Stuff. But why don't we get right into it, Alex? You were in a very busy weekend with comp again, and we're in that season for you. But we had WWE Fastlane, and it was a decent pay-per-view. We had a lot of good.
I mean, it was better, but it probably should have been for a pay-per-view right before WrestleMania. I like the tag team, obviously.
Tag team was really fun.
Final match was good, really predictable. We all knew where it was going to go. I thought Taker might show up, but. I guess
that's going to be probably in a few weeks, yeah.
What else happened?
We know Asuka is going to go against Charlotte, which I'm actually very excited for.
It was like the worst kept secret, but it's still kind of a surprise.
But I'm excited for it though. Like it's one of those things where it's like I don't care if it's.
She got a good promo yesterday.
Right, but this is the thing I don't understand about wrestling fans is just because it's predictable doesn't make it wrong.
Oh no, yeah.
We should be listening to
it. If something's a 10, like you still got it. It's still a 10.
Yeah, and to me, what I'm most excited about, it's not official yet, but we kind of just feel it coming. The Bludgeon Brothers. New Day and the Usos. To me, that is the match. I am just there's something I don't know what it is about. Answer me this as wrestling fans: is it maybe because like I'm part of siblings and I've always been close to my brothers that I just love tag team wrestling? Like to me,
it's just more
tag
fun.
Team,
like I think that's something we all can relate to. Like when people watched back in the '90s and the early 2000s was like the Dudley Boys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian.
I grew up with
DX.
I grew up with the Hart Foundation,
the NWO, the Outsiders,
the Road Warriors, like
Steiner Brothers, Harlem
Heat.
Yeah,
like some great tag.
Like we're from Chicago, so the Road Warriors were our boys.
LOD,
tag teams are fun. The Rock and Sock Connection.
Yeah, like DX, like the New Age Outlaws.
I
love the Shield. I love the Usos.
The Shield, that's kind of what brought you back. What brought me back in was like the Shield was awesome. I've always, I've always loved the Usos.
I've loved the Usos. I love the turn of the Usos.
The New Day's amazing. The new Booty Book coming out seems hilarious. And I think Biggie's going to get a big singles push soon, and they're going to kind of manage him.
Let's get into that because even Nicole loves the New Day.
Everybody
loves the New Day. So let me ask you this though: there's a lot of talk about like they're going to split after WrestleMania.
I don't think they're splitting. I don't think you can. They're going to manage them.
They're just too. They're too profitable.
They're never splitting. They're never going to split. And like now they're releasing a book. Like the best you're going to get is like Biggie would be a singles. The other two are already like kind of shifting more to the tag team anyway.
Yeah.
And they manage him and they speak for him. And Biggie does not like that he doesn't. If Biggie went solo, he'd be fine.
Biggie could cut a promo.
Biggie can easily be your next
big
African American WWE champion. We haven't had one in a very long time since like
it's
Booker
been
T,
a while.
Right?
Yeah, it's a main champion, one of the main two. Yeah.
And before that, Ron Simmons back like 10 years before that. Like
it was Booker T the last black WWE champion.
Count The Rock, I guess, slightly.
I guess, yeah. Okay, we'll count The Rock in the sense of it's a safe pick.
But he was more pushed as a Samoan wrestler.
We haven't seen R-Truth win the championship. We haven't seen Kofi. We haven't seen any of
Biggie's
these guys
probably that guy that will do it.
Yeah, I can see that. But we are getting. I know as a wrestler, as a performer, you like him. You don't necessarily like what they've done with him or what he's been presented as, but we're getting what is going to be a quote-unquote, a 5-star match or a great match for the WWE Championship, unless anything happens between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Do you think it lives up to the hype?
I think it lives up to the hype, and we're going to let it live up to the hype. That's a match we're all going to just love.
Like it has to.
We have. Like, we're going to love. Unless somebody, knock on wood, somebody gets hurt in the middle of the match or leading up to it, they're professional enough to give us what we want in a match.
Do you think somehow Lesnar reigns over, even tops it?
I think it's more than possible. Here's the thing, Alex. You and I, like, we have fun, but I go to a lot of wrestling events because I got a hookup, And I got to be honest with you, man. Every single time I've seen him perform, Roman Reigns tears the place down.
I love Roman Reigns.
I love Roman Reigns.
I have never apologized for being a Roman Reigns mark. I was a Triple H mark, so why would I not be a Roman Reigns mark?
And here's the thing. Like, there is a difference between him and John Cena. I love John Cena for a lot of different reasons. Yeah. I love John Cena because when I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, he was the Doctor of Thugonomics. Yeah, he was the cool character. I've kind of, and as he's gone on, I've seen him become the Hulk Hogan of this generation. But when you look back, I was there when CM Punk and John Cena had that match. And when you do watch it back, it's not as good because they're good in the moment. That's what they do great. John Cena's a great live in the moment performer. Go back and watch. I saw this one live. Go back and watch AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. I believe it was Payback. Way back when AJ first came back for the Royal Rumble.
Fastlane.
Yeah, it was right after the Royal Rumble time. And this is when he was with Luke Gallows and all that, right?
Yeah.
Dude, Roman Reigns just holds up like he goes with everybody.
Like, after a while, people were like, he only has matches with good people. I'm like, he had a good match with Braun. He had a good match with Bray Wyatt. Like, he had a good match with Daniel Bryan.
And here's the thing. Brock can go, too. People hate on Brock. Brock can go.
Like, guess what, y'all? It's all work. Like,
thank you.
Like, it's a work. Like, that's the point. Is like, it's a work of a work.
And it's smart.
Like, yeah, like, they're not really fighting backstage. He is going to go to UFC and probably come back for another 3-year deal to just fight some of these younger guys, and like that's just the way it is. Like,
my problem,
to work.
My biggest problem with the Roman Reigns run has nothing to do with Roman. It has to do with this idea of like, just let him be Roman.
Yeah,
let us boo him or cheer for him. It does. He doesn't have
Which
to be
they do it, and they seem to do it every time around WrestleMania and then after, and then they go back to the mode of like they want to make him do all the stuff that he's not meant to. Like, don't let him talk too much.
What he
let
does,
him kick ass because he's not The Rock. He's different than The Rock. Like, don't make him The Rock.
Exactly. And the day-to-day stuff he does when it comes to not WrestleMania season, the babyface stuff, should be done with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, guys like that. What he should do is you hear the Shield Roman Reigns theme song goes on. He comes down, says 5 words, beats somebody up. If he wins, if he loses, it doesn't matter. He's Terminator. Yeah. He's your Terminator. He's not, he's not your Batman. He's not that type of
like let the Miz cut the promos. That's why he has to show like it's kind of like the old Roddy Piper, like you and like Roddy Piper compared to the Ultimate Warrior or something.
Yes,
like,
that's a good.
One you want to talk and one was fun.
Promo, but
I mean, Warrior cut a few good ones.
Well, for what the character is, and he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
To.
Like, let him be the character.
Same with Braun. Why is it that Braun doesn't have to cut a promo? Because we know what we found.
All Braun says catch these hands.
Or Braun.
Early prediction: Braun and Elias are going to win the tag team champions.
I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yep.
At this point,
Braun and Elias are tag team champions.
How
do you push your two guys you have nothing for? Let them be tag team together.
One has been killing them, the other one.
Because they keep bringing it up. And Mark was telling me that. I'm like, that's a great. Because I was like, that's gonna be Samoa Joe. He's like, no, it's gonna be Elias. I'm like, that makes so much sense. Actually, like if they don't do it, I'm like,
it was gonna be Samoa Joe.
Like that's smart. Like don't let him hold both titles by himself. Because that just ruins everything.
Yeah.
Let him be with Elias.
I'm kind of
let
upset.
Elias run the match, get the hot tag to Braun, and then boom, you're done.
Here's the thing: I'm a little upset that Samoa Joe probably won't be at Mania unless he wins the Andre.
No, save him for after.
Yeah,
because you're gonna get him after. You'll get Jeff Hardy probably at WrestleMania with
Jeff
the
Hardy had a DWI.
Yeah, they're ignoring that. I think it's like the other Uso thing where it wasn't.
That's a good point.
It wasn't as.
It's not pills.
It may not have been as bad as like people. You know what I mean? Like there's always a story to it.
I mean, it's horrible. Like you're a piece of, in my opinion.
But we don't know the details. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it could have been a very big misunderstanding with because they said they found something in the system, but he's also rehabbing his shoulder injury.
They said that his drinking. The reports say from Pro Wrestling Sheet was he had a 2 times the legal limit in alcohol.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's Pro Wrestling Sheets though, so.
Like Brian saying sometimes.
Sometimes. So
I'm not. It's a dirt sheet.
You know what? While we're on this subject, because I saw you make a post on Twitter about something, maybe the United thing, and I just can't help but laugh sometimes because I'm like, you and me are so different in the sense where like I'll read something. I'm one of those people. I'll wait like a month before like there could be so many facts, but I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till there's every bit of evidence to post anything because And I've been proven right. The bullying incident that we
it's
had.
fair, but like I
think it's funny because we're just different on that sense of like I'm a little overcautious because like I'll be late to the party, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait another month before everything comes out.
There is a difference between like when something's human, when there's a person behind it, opposed to like, hey, the airline told this person. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Like I get what you're coming from. Like you have to be
we don't have
precautious.
enough details because people are up in arms about this, and then people are
I
like,
think it's
well,
pretty
what
cut
about
and
the owner?
chase.
Like you're going after Delta, but what about
It's
the owner?
United.
And like, were you
Yeah.
there? And like maybe did Delta even have anything to do with it? Like, or United? Sorry, Delta.
Yeah.
What do we find out that United comes out and says we never even knew there was a dog or that they did that to their dog? That like they did that to the moment. It was just the owners. So I'm saying we don't know any of this yet. All we have is a Facebook message of a guy that was on the flight, quote unquote.
Here's the thing, though, is the old adage where there's smoke, there's fire. United is known for putting passengers, pets in danger by putting them in the cargo bay thing.
That's different. This is overhead compartment we're talking about right now.
So
this could have been a crazy owner, honestly,
I'm not
looking for
disagreeing.
attention. And
But
there's crazy people out there.
What the story is right now is what it is. But it goes back to the Jeff Hardy thing. Is like everything needs to be taken into consideration that we don't know all the facts.
Exactly.
Even if we heard. And
if
it is what
and
it is.
obviously he's still on WWE Twitter. He's like they're not really addressing it. I guess it's the thing. So I think he's gonna show up. But yeah, WrestleMania should be fun. Like we only got like a month left.
Like we got about 3.5 weeks left until
23 days, 24 days,
something like that. So what are your feelings right now as we kind of start seeing the card?
It's WrestleMania. It's like the Super Bowl. No matter how bad it is, it's still like you said, the moment will be fun. Like when we watch Carolina Denver. Yeah, okay, that's a bad example because that game did suck. But most 99% of them are pretty fun. At the minimum, it's going to be a fun ride. And maybe the next thing you look back and be like, nah, it kind of sucked. Or like, hey, that was pretty damn good. But look at the Rumble. Like, they're booking to the marks now, I feel like. And that's not a bad thing. Like, go ahead. Like, you're not selling pay-per-views anymore. You're selling like the net. And by this point, it's like, if you have it, you have it. So who are the people that have it? I heard wrestling fans. So you're going to see two Japanese true wrestlers that only wrestling fans truly know holding your two biggest championships.
Theoretically. I mean, I don't think it's a guarantee Shinsuke wins.
Because I think Shinsuke walks out champion. I think Nia Jax's going to win. I think Asuka wins.
Okay.
I think Bobby Roode wins his U.S. title back.
Okay.
I think, what title am I missing? Tag Team Bludgeon Brothers.
And you think Elias and
I think
Braun.
Elias and Braun are going to win the tag
Who
titles. Because guess who's going to beat them? Or guess who's eventually going to be? Not Revival. Authors of Pain.
Maybe.
Because they're going to come up the next night,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're going to pull Ronda Rousey. They're not going to throw him right into the title.
Yeah.
But that's the match we're going to get is Braun Elias versus
That's
Authors of Pain.
interesting.
Because who's going to take down Braun realistically? Two Braun Strowmans.
Ah, very interesting. Okay.
Like,
okay. I
come
can
on,
see
like,
that. Yeah, that's pretty
it
interesting.
books itself. I
Yeah.
should do this for a living.
Who do you think wins the I believe it's the Fabulous Moolah and the Andre the Giant
Oh, that's
Battle
fun.
Royals?
I don't know. That should be exciting because I think they're actually going to try to use it as a push now. Because of the speaking of that documentary coming out with Andre the Giant,
excited.
a few days
HBO,
after that,
oh
I
my
can't
God,
wait.
so-
That's gonna be
so
so good.
excited.
So I don't know. That's good. That's a surprise. I really can't tell you right now because they can bring up some random NXT guys that always do pretty good. If you have Braun, I don't know. I really don't. I can't take a guess.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of fun. Maybe,
Unless Samoa Joe
does
come back.
we have guys coming back. Big Cass is coming back soon, probably.
Big Cass could be one.
And remember how he's gonna get that push because last year at this time he was in that Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Damn, Big Cass can go."
It's very interesting, no, and we're gonna learn more. And it's wrestling, so hopefully the card stays healthy.
Yeah.
But we have to.
I mean,
cards
3 weeks.
change. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Let's
Triple
hope
threat match, Intercontinental
That's
title.
gonna be great.
I
That's gonna be
think
great.
it's gonna be. I think it's Finn. I think
I
Finn
think it's
takes
Finn.
it.
But here's the thing too.
I can see Miz retaining.
I'm so excited for the night before of NXT Takeover.
Yeah.
That is going to be
Because obviously Aleister Black's going to get crowned as your champion.
How about that North American Championship? Ricochet, Lars Sullivan, Adam Cole, EC3.
That's going to be
Killian
really
Dane, Velveteen Dream. Like, that thing is going to be amazing.
That's going to be really fun.
So I'm excited for that weekend. That weekend's going to be a great one. You're going to be in competition, right?
No.
you're
That's the month after that.
Okay, so that's
I'll
cool.
be with
So
you.
at least we'll be
I'll
in
be
there
with
for
you.
it. But
I don't have work that day.
now,
that's the day before the Cubs game.
well, yeah, Shadow Cup season coming up real soon. Here's the thing, though. We also had a big weekend in pop culture when it comes to South by Southwest down in Austin, Texas. You had Ready Player One and A Quiet Place, kind of the standouts, the one people were most buzzing about. I think it's fair to say.
Getting them
I was going to say A Quiet Place. John Krasinski is
yeah.
getting some crazy
But
love.
it looked like it. Like we've been hyped about this movie since we saw the first trailer.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's gonna be that movie,
yeah.
guys. Like Get Out. It's gonna be one of those where you're like,
so I'm
man,
super excited. Like
we've
literally since this show started, we've been talking about A Quiet Place. So super excited for that. And then the one that you and I have kind of just we can't. I think we have ideas of it, but we really can't put our pulse on it yet. Our finger on the pulse that is of Ready Player One. You were saying you saw some good reviews.
You were saying you saw some great reviews.
The one thing we can agree is we didn't see bad reviews. So what does that mean?
To me, the good reviews I saw were more with a good negative of like, no, it was good, guys, but it probably should have been better from Spielberg and all these pop culture things, and maybe it's a bit much. But like, I think this movie is going to be one of those things where it's like, because it's so pop culture, it's going to be torn down the middle. Like, there's no way. It's going to be a Star Wars level movie where like, no one's ever going to say it's bad, but it's like, is it what you expected it to be, or is it more than you expected it to be? You're either going to love this movie, or you're going to walk out saying, I liked it a lot, but I probably should have loved it. And maybe that's where the discussion starts.
I believe I definitely think it's going to be one of those movies. More than anything, the reason why it's going to get more love is because it's Spielberg, and Spielberg does have a good job for nostalgia. Like, he does a good job on it. I don't know if the quality of film.
I feel like that's an old school thing at this point. It's like, does Spielberg really sell? Now, okay, like, well, regardless, the movie's going to be good, I think. Is the movie going to make money is the important question.
That's what
I don't think it makes as much money as it's going to, because Spielberg don't sell tickets like that no more.
Man, you know what? I'll be honest with you, though.
Because, like, if especially for movies like this.
But, like, look, if you see, you know, in one commercial, you see stuff from, like, Tron era stuff, and then you see the Friendly Giant. And
could be a bit much for the older crowd.
I know, but
look at people like your parents. They know Batman. They know the Iron Giant, but do they want to see them all in one movie, or is that a little too confusing? Because, like, this Spielberg, to me, is like the Post is and Lincoln. That's what he's known for now.
Sure.
Because, like, the older crowd. Every time he kind of dips back into this younger crowd, it doesn't really work out as well as you think it would. I think in an era of
Stranger Things and and where we're so in love with the 80s and 90s, like, this is his time, though. That nostalgia
he created it. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to see him doing it right now.
But that's the conversation of whether or not Spielberg can recreate his own
I'd rather
nostalgia.
see him do West Side Story. Or
I'm a little upset that kind of fell through as the West Side Story of the
he'll do it maybe one day, or like the Bernstein story. Like, I'd rather see stuff like that than him try to keep going back, because it's like, I get you created these things, but maybe you're not seeing it from eyes of a younger generation anymore. So kind of like George Lucas, like, I appreciate what you did for it, and like, this is yours, but maybe we should let other people tell this story more, because I don't think you have those goggles anymore of the new generation. You're still looking at it like if we're in the 80s, and the characters are from there, but we're not 80s babies anymore, and like, doesn't necessarily mean these older people want to even see that anymore. So who's the audience for this? I feel like it's addressed to us.
I think
but it was directed by a man who doesn't know us anymore.
Maybe, I mean, that's the ultimate question.
And like, I'm gonna guess right now, it doesn't make. I don't think it makes the money it thinks it's gonna make.
So what do you think it open up to?
Like 50 million less. Probably less.
I'm gonna go
probably a lot less. I'm being real generous.
I'm optimistic.
What did Wrinkle in Time open up to? 35 or something?
Something like that, yeah. But that was went up against Black Panther still. Like, Black Panther took like $40 million off of that weekend.
But this movie's not as hyped as people. Like, the reviews are fine, but like, it's still not advertising. We see reviews because we're subscribed to 20 review channels.
Here's the thing. I will say that the marketing of this movie has been horrible.
It's been terrible.
It's been horrible.
Because there's either you're giving away too much for the non-fans.
Like, there is no moment. There hasn't been a moment.
The Iron Giant was kind of for the first trailer, and then it kind of died out.
And then since then, like, we haven't had that moment.
I'm not very excited about it.
But I think I'm going to go optimistic. I'm going to go 57 million.
Okay, so I'm going on the lower end.
Okay. So, yeah, and then A Quiet Place. I know we're going to go watch it opening weekend, so I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what
we'll review that when it comes out, because I hear it's just crazy twists and turns. Like, it's nothing like you expect, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked for A Quiet Place. We'll see how everything works out with that. Jessica Jones came out on Netflix. You and I really, like, we've dabbled into Jessica Jones' universe.
It's very upsetting because I feel like the universe is kind of dying on it.
I was going to say,
because like they already said, like, we like the Defenders. We're already saying, like, hey, we're probably not the Defenders again.
So let's take Jessica Jones season 2 to the side.
Jessica Jones is kind of a niche thing.
What is the future for this?
Punisher, Daredevil. I think that's it. I think they're going to do Punisher, Daredevil, and I think they'll do Heroes for Hire because they're not going to be able to do Iron Fist, Luke Cage separate anymore.
Well, we got one more Luke Cage season coming.
And one more Iron Fist season. And I think they're going to be okay, we're combining these two. Jessica Jones by herself because she's our female antagonist, and she has a very niche audience. I may not love it, but I get why people love it.
Why do you think the universe isn't working? Is it just the quality of 13 episodes each season?
It's too much television. It's just like to me, it's like the CW universe. It's too much.
But I have fun with it because they have fun with it. Like, that's the difference I tried to explain to you. Like, I understand why you don't watch it.
Because we like Defenders at the moment, and you look back, you're like, man, like they're probably.
I didn't enjoy my time watching Defenders as much as I do. No, but here's the thing: looking back, I look back with not the fond memories of watching Defenders, but I look back at watching stupid episodes of The Flash. And I have a hell of a time. Like
Iris has speed now.
She doesn't. She had speed for an episode.
I can't. With these
it was
single
so good.
episodes,
Last episode was so good too, though.
I'm sure.
Flash time.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. But like to me, I'm
Joe's
having
next,
fun.
right? I saw that meme. Joe's next.
Yeah, I'm having fun though with it, and that's the difference. That's the thing I have about television and about video games specifically, not movies, but television and video games. Is if I'm not having fun anymore, if I'm not enjoying my time, I'm not going to waste my time on it. So, speaking of a show, I just don't waste my time on anymore. I listen to the reviews and I read the synopsis. The Walking Dead.
Here's my review of The Walking Dead, people. We're going to start doing this every week. Alex's Walking Dead review. Nothing happened again until the last second where Jeffrey D. Morgan put the bat in blood. So now I have to watch next week to see what happens. Guess what's going to happen next week, guys? Spoiler alert. Nothing's going to happen until the last 10 seconds.
So I'm over it. I'm
so
bad. Over it.
Guys, it took me 4 hours to watch just because I kept falling asleep and I had to keep watching the reruns. And I don't care.
And I don't know what it is. But
here's I can't stop.
But here's the thing about The Walking Dead is it's not The Walking Dead that in the sense of behind the scenes. It's just not like there's not the same creators.
Was Walking Dead ever good?
That's the question you and I asked.
Was Walking Dead ever good?
To each other.
Season one was good.
Yes.
And even the season finale was kind of dumb.
Yes.
When they go to the building.
But here's the thing,
was Walking Dead ever really good, or is just zombies badass and the actings are actually really good?
This is my theory about why The Walking Dead hit so hard. When it came out, we weren't in a hotbed of zombies.
It
was just the beginning. And the other thing, AMC at that point was still before streaming was really huge. So what happened is your go-to horror time was AMC.
Well, not only that, but AMC was the it because look at it, Mad Max, Breaking Bad,
and Breaking Bad,
Silicon Valley.
So
all these really, really
you
good
and I are
shows.
horror fans. So when we were watching the AMC Fright Fest thingy, every single year it was all about on October 31st. The Walking Dead series premiere, and they made pushed this show.
The Walking Dead's gonna be around forever. That's like The Simpsons. No matter what, it's gonna. You can argue whether it was good or not.
That would, what would have kept me in
is
if there was a goal. But if there was a goal, I might have stayed.
There's not a goal.
There's not a goal anymore.
But
that's the difference. There was the minute we found out that there really was. Here's the thing: when we found out that I'm forgetting his name now.
Which one?
The nerd that makes the bullets for Negan. And became the doctor.
Eugene.
The minute we found out Eugene was fake and did not have the ability to create a cure, to me, that was the moment where there is no end point. There is no, we're going to find a way to stop the zombies. We're going to find a way to live on. That ended for me.
Even in the comics, they're still not really talking about it, but the comics are kind of, comics are different.
That should live on forever.
At least they're violent in the comics, so it's fun.
Yeah. And I think, to me, and I know a lot of people complain about the fake deaths, but there is this moment of losing just so many characters in a short span, but it not really. There was no time to soak and feel it. Carl dying.
It felt like nothing.
Felt like nothing.
I'll be honest. That's the only episode I haven't seen this season is the first one because I accidentally skipped it and I'm like, I don't need to watch it.
So to me, it's just really weird that. They after Glenn, and here's the thing: the Glenn one was impactful because we love Glenn.
Glenn and Abraham,
But
they did nothing. Then they didn't do anything with it.
But why? It almost feels unnecessary. It's Negan needed to kill Glenn because that's part of the story. But it's almost did he know if you're just going to kill Carl? And you're going to deviate so much from the story. It's then be more creative. Give me a better story. Then don't get lazy.
Stick with the Abraham death and let Glenn live and be oh, that's even crazier. Glenn's alive.
And now we have to sit the rest of the time being How does Glenn die?
Like he's on borrowed time now.
Now he's on borrowed time. And here's the thing. I'm so past the
just
whole,
like the whole hand with Rick thing. I'm like, cut his hand off or don't. I don't care anymore.
The
like,
Norman Reedus thing. I'm like, oh, he makes you guys too much money. You'll never get rid of him. Got you. It's like, cool. You could have told me that. Don't tease me that you're gonna kill him.
Because I love him.
Yeah, so do I. But don't tease me in this idea that anybody goes.
That's the problem. Is even a good character like that, you're starting to be like, I just don't care, Daryl. I'm sorry. Like I like you, Daryl, but I don't care as much.
No, I love you, Norman Reedus.
Like this character Daryl, like really hasn't evolved. Like he used to evolve
since
actually.
He lost Morrill.
He was doing a little better. Even when he got to the town, he was the best part of getting there because he didn't trust anyone.
Sure.
And even when he was in jail, I was a little entertained with that. Like when he got captured.
Yeah, okay.
And then the crying, I'm like, okay, I like this. I'll dig it. And then now it's kind of like, no, I don't really care, dude.
So
there.
I feel like it's a world that just kind of
like, we
is
gave
spinning
it more
in
time
circles.
than we ever should have. Like,
no, I agree, but
like,
that's because we
love
love Alex.
I'm gonna keep
all
watching
in on The Walking
until it's
Dead.
done. Like I'm not gonna stop watching it.
But it just goes back to the point, like I'm not having fun anymore with it, and it really bums me out. But we are getting into a point now where I get very excited. It's March Madness. But I don't want to talk about the sports. I'll talk about the games on Saturday because we will have the Thursday and Friday games leading into the Saturday and Sunday games.
Breaking news. Joe Thomas retires after 11 seasons.
Wow, after Cleveland does all that moves.
Pro, yeah, man.
Wow.
11 seasons, 10-time Pro Bowl. Joe Thomas
going
Wisconsin.
to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, a Cleveland Brown going to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
So,
yeah, right. That's going to be
it's crazy, right? But, we might get into a little bit of free agency talking a little bit. But I want to get your thoughts on this, Alex. How do you feel as a student athlete about the NCAA tournament? Like, do you think it's kind of weird how, like, we can be so there's a segment of people could be like...
Because the chair championship's coming up for college in about 3 weeks.
But this is why I bring it up, right? It's like we call these people student athletes, right? And we make such a big deal about it. We can't pay them. We can't do this. We can't do that, right? But we're about to take them halfway around the country, be away from school for weeks at this point, and they're going to play basketball professionally now because they're going to bring in millions of dollars every game they win. I'm not mad at it. They should be doing all this. What I get mad at, though, is this idea of, like, why we don't pay them, why they're privileged to be playing this sport, why the university has so much power when it's all kind of just weird backwards BS.
It's one of those things where the whole point is the opportunity because, like, obviously, like, without the school – some of these kids don't have the opportunity to travel to these places or see these locations or play in front of this many people. So it's, sure, as an athlete, like you think it's different. Obviously, I didn't miss the most school we missed was like a week, and like we had to catch up on schoolwork. It was a little different. It's different every school, but obviously, like it's one of those like it's so idiotic. It's kind of obvious where you're like, well, we're literally the whole country's about to be on this for a whole month. Spending billions of dollars on watching these games and gambling and everything.
And on TV rights alone.
And the most you can tell these kids is like, well, you get to see St. Louis.
And like, what kind
free.
of is that?
We'll get you the hotel. Like, well, no shit, you should give them the whole, pay for everything. But like, I still don't believe you should pay them though. Because that's, I don't know.
I think there's a smart way to do it. Or
like
at the very
baseball,
least,
do what baseball does. You need to develop a minor leagues then.
Or
a realistic minor leagues where you can sign at 18, make the money if you want to make the money, and then go. That's my thing. Like it's the NBA's fault.
You want to make it.
I don't blame NCAA. I blame the NBA.
No, I blame the NCAA just for the biggest thing. The NCAA might be the
NBA
biggest.
Doesn't help either.
Crime mob in the world.
If you have a minor league system, now these kids you don't have. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
I
said that wrong. I said that wrong. I do blame NCAA. I blame the NBA for not having a better minor league system, a better offer. Give them a secondary option.
But here's the thing, Alex, and I don't disagree. Like, hopefully the D League and the G League and all that becomes that. But here's the thing. I think if you want to make it as simple as possible, you just don't make it illegal anymore. You just don't make it illegal. You're like, instead of if a booster wants to give you $50,000 for coming to Texas, instead of you getting in trouble for it, you don't. Make it simple like that. Why is it, Alex? Here's the reason why.
That's a hard bridge. That's a steep slope.
Let me tell you why it's not. Let's say if you went to the University of Texas, right? So Kevin Durant did, and let's say Bruno Mars did. If Bruno Mars went there on a full ride scholarship for music, Bruno Mars can go work at bars, at a music label, at anything, and not lose his scholarship. Yep. Kevin Durant cannot do that. Kevin Durant cannot go ahead and sell autographs for $300 for an hour. Kevin Durant can't make money on that.
You worded that a little differently because that's what I'm talking about. I don't think you should be able to pay for recruitment. Once you're there,
that's what I'm saying. Once you're there, you
but you said recruitment. I'm like that's a bridge you don't want to go down.
The point,
because then you're buying teams.
And there's a lot. But the point is, though, we're so hypocritical.
Now it's different. Like let's say you do get there and they're like, hey, can Kevin Durant make an appearance? Let that be his choice.
Yeah.
If he shows up to this,
jersey, get him some money.
like that's it. Then I agree with that. Let them have avenues to make their own money. You don't have to run it. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything for them. But if they want to hire a manager and say, "Hey, they're playing for you 4 years. They have their thing. Like it's a contract. You signed it. Like it's like eligibility. Like you can't transfer. You have to wait a year or skip whatever. Do that. But once they're there, if they want to say, "Hey, I want to sell jerseys. I want to make appearances. Like I want to do stuff within legal. Like obviously not going to nightclubs at 18." Why not? Let them do it. Like regulate it, but let them do it.
But the point is, though, is like
I
don't want to see this really. And you know what really bothers me, Alex? Is
that it's so obvious and like
it's just, why is this?
And we're all okay with it.
Why is a normal person, especially in the sports world, the fan roots for the billionaire more than the athlete?
Did you fill out a bracket?
Of course,
you're part of the problem.
Of course,
don't watch it.
I'm totally a part of it.
I didn't fill out a bracket. I won't watch most of it.
But my point is, these fans argue. They're like, okay, here's a big one. Don't pay these. Don't pay Jake Arrieta. Don't pay Jake Arrieta. He doesn't deserve that money. But you're gonna think it's all right for Tom Ricketts to make that much money? It's like this idea. Why are you rooting on the billionaire and not the athlete?
I get that, but like I feel like it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. When I don't see brackets going out. I don't see views going down. Like people don't care as much as they should care. I think
people do care, and I think what it is now is people are so sick of caring. That's what I think it is. I think people are so sick of it that we are going to see a change. And the big problem is, though, is the NCAA is such a cartel that it's so disgusting.
Like maybe like all they're doing is addressing it right now, and then like it's going to be water under the bridge. Because guess what? No one's doing it. No one's stopping them from making money. Like there's not a big loss in advertising. Like even with the kneeling in the NFL, that made a little dent in certain things, but like this hasn't made a dent anywhere. Like.
Well, Papa John had to sell his stock in his own
people got to realize that.
It's
like, if you want change, you need to start somewhere. But it's hard when you're like one of a million ants. You're like, well, if I stop, like no one else is going to stop. So I might. It's the entitlement of like, well, if I stop, it's really not going to. My vote doesn't count really. So why should I stop if no one else is going to stop? But then who are you to sit here and complain about it?
Shout out really fast.
Like,
voting in November. Please go vote. I don't care what affiliation you have. Be informed.
Like just be part.
Yes.
If you want to talk about, here's my thing. If you don't want to talk about the system, you don't have to. Like then, if you don't want to vote, you don't have to talk about the system. Like if you don't prefer that is one way to live. But if you're gonna sit here and talk about the system, you need to be part of the system.
November,
man,
go vote.
Or else you're pointless. Or else, to me, you're just another useless voice. You're worse than Fox News then at that point.
Yeah, or it should be first CNN, whichever side of the fence.
Exactly. Like you're worse than the major news companies on either side.
But speaking
red
of
or blue.
garbage news, I'm not even going to use the fake news because I think that's really bad for everything. But like speaking of lazy news, it hasn't been lazy news. Even though all this offseason when people were complaining about the NFL, about kneeling, how it was going to destroy the sport.
Bears just signed Chase Daniels
as backup quarterback.
Who's that?
He's a backup quarterback. Played 8 years in the league.
Where was he last?
I forgot.
I know the name.
But
he's
only played 2 NFL games in 8 years.
I mean, he's back. I was just curious.
But here's the thing. Speaking of that, this is what I want to get into. The entertaining offseason, it has become official as of 3 p.m. today of recording. You can start signing these players in the NFL. Allen Robinson has become a Chicago Bear. What do you think about that move?
He's good. He's very
coming off ACL surgery, but not the same type of injury.
At least we're making the right moves, and like he does, like he is very he has a big. To me, the upside's better than anything downside. Like you're making the moves. He's a legit player. I like it. Like I said, I'm not going to buy his jersey. He's not Brandon Marshall or Alshon Jeffrey, but it's a good move. It is. You got to get the kid weapons.
And it's just been a very interesting.
Obviously, no more Matt Forte. So
well, we're gonna see Jordan Howard. They did sign Gabriel from the Atlanta Falcons, so that should be very interesting. Yeah. If how the Bears use
a lot of
with
these guys
Allen
retiring.
Robinson.
Like a lot of these older guys are done. Like it was a big change in NFL. Like a lot, DeMarco Murray not with the Titans anymore. Like a lot of staples.
They signed Deion Lewis, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of staples in the NFL. Like obviously as fantasy football players, we pay a lot of attention to single individual players from different teams are gone. Or Jordan. Look at the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Look at Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham goes
and look at Jordy Nelson.
Yeah,
and
Jordy Nelson's released.
Like come on, this is going to be a crazy fantasy year. Sammy Watkins and obviously, we haven't even talked about any defensive players right now.
Case Keenum went to the Broncos.
Come on, what is this? Sam Bradford's going to sign with Arizona. Where's Teddy Bridgewater? He's going with the
To the
Jets.
You had Drew Brees sign a 2-year deal with the Saints, staying
The
with
most
them.
underrated player ever, probably in the NFL, Drew Brees.
And Ndamukong Suh getting released by the Dolphins.
He's great. I mean,
So we'll see what ends up
happens
happens with him. Yeah, I'm just really interested to see.
So fun. Like, it was fun. Like, you're like, oh my
Sammy
God.
Watkins to the Chiefs, like you mentioned earlier. I think that's really
my God,
interesting.
the Chiefs are so Chiefs. Like you always say it, but it's like, man, they're dangerous. They got so many weapons on that team.
Tyrann Mathieu released by the Arizona Cardinals, so that's an interesting secondary.
Arizona's
maybe.
in a total rebuild.
Jerry Maclin released by the Ravens,
Yep.
so another wide receiver hits.
That's another good one. He went to
Austin
Kansas
Safarian
City.
Jenkins, former Jet, had a really interesting season. As again, like you say, he played fantasy football. Is visiting the Seattle Seahawks after Jimmy Grant left.
He's good. He's very underrated.
Julius
we picked him up
Peppers
mid-season.
resigns with the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, so he's going to retire. Oh, that's good.
So we'll see, maybe.
He should. I don't know how he's still playing.
And Jordy Nelson, like you mentioned earlier, has been released by the Green Bay Packers. Do you make a run at it? Not as a Chicago Bear fan, but as an NFL fan, is there room for
Any
him?
team should make a run for him because he's one of the best wide receivers there is. And I don't think it was just Aaron Rodgers because I think he puts up
That's the
numbers
real question.
regardless. But obviously that is a question. Obviously, they're not going to trade him to the Bears, Vikings, or Lions. They're not going to. He's not going to sign there. I don't think. Like unless it went. Like if he signs with one of those teams, you know it went down bad in Green Bay. I don't think it did. So I see him signing maybe with New England.
Okay.
I can see New England making a run for him and actually getting a legit Tom Brady receiver for him.
You want to know who?
New England just dropped homeboy, so can't remember these guys' names.
Danny Amendola went to Miami.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, they need a receiver.
How about this? Your boy Mike Glennon got another deal with the Arizona Cardinals. How can this man still get a job in the NFL?
Because Arizona. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I get a lot of people have lost their jobs for doing a lot better than he.
But you want to really fast before we? I'm actually really enjoying this football conversation. You want to look at Cleveland and then Chicago really fast? I want to just go over what the Browns did because
made the most moves.
I mean,
not good moves, but they made a lot.
But they've just made a lot of moves as they traded for Jarvis Landry.
Yep. Which actually was a good move.
Yeah,
Jarvis
they traded Deshaun Kaiser to Green Bay for Demarius Randall. So interesting. They traded for Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
And they tendered Josh Gordon, so they kept him. And they signed Carlos Hyde.
It's interesting. Like they're making moves. You're like, man, like hopefully they win more than one game.
We'll see, right? And then, of course, here we go to the Chicago Bears really fast for anybody catching up. They released Terrell Freeman, Pernell McPhee, Quinton Demps, Willie Young, Mike Glennon. They offered Kyle Fuller a new contract, so Kyle Fuller will be a Chicago Bear. That's one of the secondary positions taken care of. Josh Bellamy, Cameron Meredith signed as wide receivers. Bryce Callahan signed at cornerback. Then the big one on a 3-year contract with Allen Robinson, coming off that knee injury, but one of those type of receivers that can go up and get it, go down the
He
seam.
can be a game changer.
Yeah, he's a total game changer.
And like he can make those catches that the Bears are so close in these games that he can be the difference.
They also signed tight end Trey Burton to a 4-year contract. This is a guy who's going to be is still a learning position. Very a smaller tight end at 6'2", about 240. Not the biggest of dudes at that position, but with Adam Shaheen, it should be an interesting combo. Played for Philadelphia, didn't get a lot of time except for the year Zach Ertz got hurt. So we'll see what that ends up doing. The move I like the most, other than obviously Allen Robinson, is a 4-year contract with Tyler Gabriel, the guy from the Atlanta Falcons. Going to get a lot of receptions, going to get down the field, going to eat up a lot of yards. And then they also signed Prince Amukamara.
These are just weapons that we need at the moment.
Sam Acho, and like you said, Chase Daniel as a backup quarterback. So just a very fast-paced offseason already.
It's exciting. Like I'm already making my moves in my head, so I can beat you guys. Because I would have won fantasy football last year twice without Gronkowski being an asshole.
Who's the number 1 pick this year in fantasy football?
Antonio Brown.
You think Antonio Brown goes 1? I still think Ezekiel Elliott goes 1.
Nah, I'll go Antonio Brown.
In a PPR, Ezekiel's going to go 1.
I'd go Brown.
Brown's going to go 1, 2, or 3.
Brown's literally the
David Johnson might be up there.
Ugh. No, I don't think so. I don't want the number 1 pick. That's the thing. I don't want it.
One of our leagues is a 12-man live draft with the big board. Alex was there for this one. Our B League draft.
I'm the consultant there. I kind of helped draft one of the best teams in the regular season. And Mike did terrible because he didn't have his consultant.
The B League has now become a 14-team league. And it is an online draft, so we have no idea what the draft order is leading into the draft. But it's a lot of fun. We love our fantasy football this year. We get a championship belt instead of the big trophy. So the trophy, the Ditka in A-League has been retired, and we are getting a B-League trophy. So it is.
How mad would you be if I won before you ever did?
I'll be very upset. Here's the thing, though. Anybody who plays fantasy football, you've never won a championship in your league, you have until 2020. Because after 2020, the CBA devolves from the NFL and the NFLPA and the NFL League, which means we might have a lockout for a whole year. So you better win one in 2019 or 2020.
Or it doesn't matter.
Or life just keeps going.
Yeah.
Alex, I think we've had ourselves another
that's
episode.
everything, yeah.
We have to go ahead and do something else. Another cool episode of Murder, Mysteries, and More. Thank you for everybody who supported the first episode. Over 100 views in the first week. So
if
I'm
you
pretty
listen to
proud of
this
it.
long in the show, we'll let you know it is about crop circles this week.
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll be
there you
discussing
go.
crop circles.
That's your treat for sticking with us through
Yep,
wrestling
that's
talk.
a treat. So now you know what we'll be talking about this week.
Any last thoughts, good brother?
No, that's about it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. You can catch us everywhere in the universe. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can like us on Instagram, see behind the scenes at Instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. Subscribe to us on YouTube, YouTube.com/MikeMercado2333. We're also on iTunes. Please rate, review, like, and share us. That's iTunes.com/Mercado Airwaves, as well as SoundCloud.com/Mercado Airwaves. And Alex, we're also on Stitcher.
I was mouthing it to you. That's the only reason he remembered.
Yeah, that's what it is because I didn't know.
He totally didn't know.
Stitcher.com/Mercado Airwaves. I'm so excited, so proud of us, and so happy that each of you have another platform to listen to us. Stitcher.com. Look us up, Mercado Airwaves. And, of course, every one of our episodes here, like Murder, Mysteries, and More, The Good Brothers, Pizza Night with Nikki and Mike, every one of our UFC interviews or interviews with people from Hollywood are brought to you by our amazing producers at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Check us out there. If you would like to sponsor any one of these shows or interviews, we have a tier just for you. That's Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of The Good Brothers. Thank you for listening to everything on the network. For the Good Brother himself, Alex Mercado.
When in doubt, Merc it out, y'all.
I'm Mike Mercado. You've been listening to The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves.
You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex.
Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.